Alright, what up everyone? So here's what I want to do. I got my deck loaded here for the Chaos Theory deck I've been playing, the quote truth theorem. At least that's what I'm calling it right now. But anyway, I thought it'd be cool to just go through the deck a little bit. You've probably seen me play it a few times if you've been watching any of my videos. So I just explain why I play what I play and how I like to use the card and how it works with the deck. So big picture deck here, event-based economy, fueled by the Prepaid Voice Pad. Extremely powerful card. Many people say don't play it outside of Kate. It's not worth it. You can't get enough value from it without the discount on the install. Those people have not played this deck with Prepaid Voice Pad. Sorry. Argument falls on deaf ears. It's powerful. It's fantastic. It keeps the deck running at all times. It is a powerhouse of a card when the vast majority of the cards I play are events. So anyway, that sort of explains Prepaid Voice Pad. And yeah, I'll get into more stuff later. I'll come back to this card. But anyway, Plastic Carapace 2. For me, that's the sweet spot. 1 is too little. Some decks I think require 3 if it's a real heavy tag me deck. I probably want 3. But for a deck that's not really looking to get tagged or has no way of self-tagging, I found 2 to be just fine. Even in most criminal decks, I play 2. So in this deck, I feel great with 2. Sure Gamble, I think, is a staple of almost every single runner deck. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't play it, and especially in a deck where I have Prepaid Voice Pad. So, obviously, just synergizes there. Lucky Find. So, Lucky Find is probably, I mean, this last data pack to me was so good, so strong. Lucky Find was in there. And of course the Corp got so many powerful cards too, but you know, I think the argument against Lucky Find, of course, is the influence that it requires to play, and is it worth the influence? And yes, I think definitely in Shaper. In Shaper, it's 100% worth it, and not to say that it's not worth it in others, but since I'm talking from a Shaper perspective here, Shaper is pretty contained in what they can do in terms of being able to get around servers and break through things and that kind of stuff. So I'm okay not using the influence for things outside of the Shaper faction. I mean, I have 40 cards in here. It's a small deck, so I think that's another benefit for not really needing to splash around too much. Additionally, Lucky Find is just, I think, the best econ card in the game for the runner, particularly when it's paired with Prepaid, because think about it. Just 2 Prepaid voice pads installed, and I play a Lucky Find. That is net 8 credits in 2 clicks, and that's twice the efficiency of a Magnum Opus. So I can get 8 credits, still be able to make a run, still be able to play a Maker's Eye, still be able to draw a card, still be able to whatever in the next two clicks that I have, and still be able to make the same amount of money. So I'm literally compressing the game with just high octane and high explosive econ. So enough said about that. Test Run, great card, fits this deck. It's actually, I've never really liked it too much until I started playing Prepaid Voice Pad, because it was so expensive to play it. And I mean, it's fine if you're gonna like grab a Fem or a Torch. It's cool, I think, even without the Prepaid. But man, when you synergize it with a Prepaid, it is just awesome, right? I mean, it's free installs, because obviously I'm playing Test Run with the Scavenge here. So if I have 2 or 3 Prepaids out, play a free Test Run, drop in a Torch, Scavenge it, I have lost 0 credits, or maybe 1 credit or 2 credit, whatever. Extremely powerful. Same thing for Femme Fatale. Very popular and powerful play, of course, is the Test Run fem. Like if somebody has one piece of ice on a remote server, I can just drop a test run and a femme fatale token on that piece of ice, and whatever it is, I'll be able to bypass it. And then the nice thing too is that if let's say I don't really plan on running that server any longer, then I just take my scavenge here and I drop that fem on another piece of ice that might be a little bit more threatening. So just a beautiful combination. Again, synergizing so well with the prepaid. Levy AR, a wonderful card, and very, very, very important card in this deck. Don't always need it, but when I need it, it's essential. And I can reliably play one, simply because I play two same old things. So worst case scenario, I guess the worst case scenario would be like I'm matched up against Jinteki, and I lose my Levy same old thing and both my same old things to net damage. That would be awful. But typically I can get something protected, a same old thing on the table, and I can always then Levy later on if I have to, if I lose it. So I played two because it was so important, in certain games, but I think I just need one now since I'm playing the same old thing. I just have to be careful to keep one on the table. Dirty Laundry is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, 2 credit run. Essentially, one or two of these out on the table, it's a free 5 credits, especially if they leave like archives open or something. Femme Fatale I talked about a little bit. I should mention I started the deck playing Garrote, which was cool and all that kind of jazz, but and efficient at times in heavy sentry decks. It definitely became very useful. But what I found is that this deck is sort of a sniper deck where it just wants to make a few runs that are deadly. And Fem, usually I can line up a server with, if I have to, like, if a server is like Toll Booth and Archer, I can, line it up 2 Fems on the Toll Booth and the Archer, get through for 5. So I just found that to be more effective than the Garrote. So yeah, enough on Fem. Torch, again, I mean, big breaker, most efficient code gate in the game. Its biggest drawback, of course, is its installation cost. But when I'm getting them in for free or close to free, it's an absolute bargain and steal. So that's why I play Torch. Professional Contacts, my only draw in the deck, only draw I need, in my opinion. Power card. I used to have KDs and quality times, and what I found is that the money used for KD didn't really. I mean, it was nice, but it slowed the pace down in the game for 1, and for 2, it didn't really synergize with my prepaid event situation going on, where Professional Contacts certainly does, because I get the cards to draw into the Sure Gamble, and I also get the credit to help fuel, excuse me, to help fuel paying into the Sure Gamble. And that's, I think, another thing worth mentioning about this deck is once there's prepaid voice pads on the table, it's so much easier to recover from like a closed accounts or something. Because if I have 3 on the table that hit me for a closed accounts, first of all, I can hit a Lucky Find for free. I don't need any credits to jump up to 9. Additionally, I only need 2 credits to play a Sure Gamble. So going broke is not a big deal, because within 2 or 3 clicks, I'm back to 15 plus credits. That's just awesome. So Scavenge, talked about it. Basically to get cheap free breakers in and move the Fems around. Maker's Eye. Started the deck with R&D interface because I like to be able to, if I'm going to make a lot of runs, I want to obviously maximize those runs. But what I found in this deck is that it's way better to just line up one big run and then do it, and then probably do another one like 2, 3, 4 turns later. And Maker's Eye is perfect for that. I mean, 3 accesses and an R&D is pretty strong. If any of you have played Keyhole, you know that out of 3 cards, a lot of times you're seeing agendas. So same with Maker's Eye, and usually I can get 2 or 3, sometimes 4 off in a game. So that's a lot of cards I'm seeing there. Deus Ex, just a marvelous card. I think is really a must for certainly all Shaper decks, in my opinion. I don't know why at this stage in the game anyone would not play it. AP Ice is everywhere, for one. Heimdall's, Janus, Victor's, both Victor's, Flare, what's the new Shinobi? I think Sarugi, Neural Katana. I think those are all AP Ice. And let's face it, I mean, that's a great way to prevent a lot of hurting or get through a server super cheap if you need to, and is literally a lifesaver at times. So just play it, I'd say. Also, it's a nice little ace on the hole for Jinteki, preventing a Ronin or a flatline or whatever. Same old thing, I think, is a pretty logical decision to play in this deck. Of course, it's always nice. I could tinker on the idea of playing an indexing. But again, indexing, not to get too off the deck and what I'm not playing, but indexing, of course, works, and I think it's strong in just about any Shaper deck. But I'm not really playing to rerun servers a lot. I'm just looking to kind of snipe, and unless it's early game, I'm probably not going to get a ton of value out of a lot of indexing. I could very well be wrong on that. I could be totally making a mistake not playing it, but I found that if I can just recurse Maker's Eyes, like I said, I can usually get 9, 12, 15 accesses in R&D in a game, and that's plenty to win usually. Corroder, standard, I think the best breaker still for barriers in the game, and I think Corroder's the weakness now of Corroder, and this has emerged I think recently since Power Shutdown, is that it's only 2 cards on a Power Shutdown to trash it, destroy it on the table. And I think if you're not playing cards to protect a Corroder in today's world of Netrunner, I think you're making a huge mistake. And even in a deck like this where I have recursion tactics to get cards out of my archives or out of my heap into play, I don't want to take time to go get something that I could have just protected and kept on the table in the first place. And that, again, is another reason why Prepaid Voice Pad just works so well in this deck. Keeps my Corroder nice and protected on the table. If they want to trash a voice pad, that's fine. I mean, it's not awesome, but I can handle it. So a lot easier than Corroder. Self-modifying code. So this was a really important ad for me. My only way to find things earlier in the game, or earlier in this deck's lifespan, was test run and basically quality times. And it just wasn't reliable enough for me. I didn't find, and to be able to go get also like a Deus Ex if I need it, or the Nerve Agent here, is really powerful. And then additionally, that sort of spawned into the idea of playing Stim Hack. So a Stim Hack, of course, can get like a Fem into play, or a Torch if I have to. I mean, ideally, I'm trying to get free installs with my test runs, but this gives me the flexibility. Getting it using it for a Corroder is not pretty inexpensive. It's only going to cost me 4 credits to install a Corroder on the fly. So this just gave me more speed. It gave me, plus it's a threat on the table. If I have a lot of money and a self-modifying code on the table, I could have nothing. Everything could be in my hand. I might not even be able to use the self-modifying code, but just the fact that it's on the table is going to be a deterrent for the corporation as well. So enough on that. Actually, one quick last thought. Again, it's 0 cost. Also gives it a little protection from Corroder, although I usually don't like to see these trashed. Nerve Agent. This is what it is for now for my HQ pressure. And it's a must. I think, I mean, there has to be some form of HQ pressure, whether it be an HQ interface or a nerve agent. In this case, I think nerve agent is the way to go because I can tutor for it. And usually I have plenty of MU and Chaos Theory. So Stim Hack, just an overall amazing card. Works super well with self-modifying code, obviously, on the run. Works well with my breakers, all my breakers. None of them are fixed breakers. So the Stim Hack can fuel strengthen all of these breakers if I need to on a big run. Is a great surprise. Lucky find and Stim Hack is a huge boost that, I mean, that combination I should be able to get through just about any server there is. So that's pretty fantastic. Dinosaurus, one of, using it as a one of, because I don't really need it, and if I get it on the table, it's nice, but if I don't find it, I think I'm okay. So, like I install this, obviously usually I try to get a fem on it, depending on what the board is. Excuse me, but if someone's playing a lot of Eli's or, even Hadrian's Walls or Heimdall's Bastions, I might throw the Corroder on there. I think that's a fine play. Almost never going to put the torch on it. I don't know why I would at this stage in the game, but the Fem makes a nice home on it. If they have a lot of sentries, a lot of like Grims, turns Grim into only 3 credits. Archer turns into 2, 4, 8, which is manageable. So Dinosaurus is a nice card. I used to use, at first I was playing Desperado, and then I went to Spinal Modem. Both were nice, but I found Dinosaurus, did plenty and saved me some influence. So Retrieval Run is a wonderful card in this deck, and I'm going to really have a decision to make once Honor and Profit comes out, because for sure I want to get Legwork in this deck. And in case you don't know, Legwork is basically the Maker's Eye of Criminal. So it's access an additional 2 cards from HQ, and it's 2 cost, 2 influence, same as Maker's Eye. So, Retrieval Run right now works so well. I can just, with prepaid, just spend nothing to, 0 to 2 credits basically, and get a free install right into play. And whether it's a torch or a fem, it's a really powerful play. But I'm gonna have to make a big decision if I want to play 2 legworks, because legwork is just going to be just a powerhouse card. In a lot of ways, I think it's better than Nerve Agent in this deck. For one, obviously I get to use the prepaid credits for it. And for 2, the same reason why I like Maker's Eye over R&D Interface. With Nerve Agent, I have to install it and then run. Whereas the legwork, I'm just going to be able to run on the fly for super cheap with my prepaids and then C3 cards. And then recurse it with same old thing and Levy AR if I have to. So it's going to be tough to take the Retrieval Run out, but I think it's probably going to be the right play. So we'll see. But Retrieval Run is definitely a fantastic card in this deck as it is. I think both work great, and this version works great. So anyway, that's a little rundown on the deck, and something new, something different. Hope it helps a little bit.